Oh, and just so you know, we usually try and go about 10-15 minutes. If we go under, over, no big deal. We'll just try and keep it a nice, smooth conversation.
Perfect. No problem.
All right, Seamus is saying that we're good to go here, so I'll kick us off, and then we'll just roll into a conversation between you and I.
Perfect. I'm ready.
All right. Hey, everyone out there. This is Autoline Exclusives. I'm Sean McElroy. Joining me today is Oren Ezer. He's the founder and CEO of a company called Electreon. Oren, I'd like to thank you for joining me today.
Hi, thank you very much for having me.
Now, I'm sure many of the people saw the thumbnail to this video and know that we're going to be talking about in-road inductive charging, but I'd love to know a little bit about your background. How did you get into this field? How did you start the company?
So actually, I have a first degree in electric engineering and second degree in system engineering. I was the head of the R&D department at Elbit Systems, so I gained lots of experience in electronics. I met my partner Hanan Rombach at Elbit System, and actually I was responsible for the innovation at Elbit System. So I think that when I met Hanan and we start discussing about changing the world and global warming, it was 9 years ago. It was not so popular to talk about global warming and climate change and what we are doing to the planet. So Hanan reached out and shared with me his vision, and we started discussing about it. And at that time, we had a company in Israel called Better Place, and they went bankruptcy. They had a vision to replace batteries. So Hanan came to me one day with showing me a technology that can actually transmit energy over the air from one coil to the next coil. And we actually decided to investigate this technology and to face the big problem of electrification, which is the battery. So if we will be able to replace the battery or remove it from the equation, then we actually can push the electrification forward. And this is what we did. We decided to work together for 2 years. It was in 2013, and to try to develop this kind of technology and to see if we can actually transmit energy over the air from between two coils and to charge the vehicle without carrying huge battery on the vehicle itself.
So is this kind of the same type of principle about the charging mat that I throw my phone onto at night or in the car, whatever, and it's just charging directly through that?
Yeah, so first it's the same technology. It's a phenomena that invented 100 years ago. Nikola Tesla found this phenomena. You can find it today in cell phones. And we took it one step ahead to transmit huge amount of energy to the vehicle itself. And I think that we are doing not just static charging, as you mentioned. We developed a dynamic wireless charging. It means that we can electrify the vehicle while the vehicle is driving. So it's not just to electrify or to transmit huge amount of energy to the vehicle wirelessly, but to do it while the vehicle is driving, is moving on the road. So you need to control the system in order to provide the right energy with the right efficiency to a vehicle that is moving on the road.
So that's very cool. Now, so then the technology is under the road, and I think now that you guys are doing some testing, I got a press release about something called the Arena of the Future. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so but I think that if we can give another example about the main challenge and why in Italy they decided to create the Arena of the Future. I think that we all understand that the world is going to electric mobility, and the main challenge is, as we know, is the battery, the infrastructure, in order to charge all those vehicles around us. We have 1.4 billion vehicles around us. So the main challenge is the battery, the infrastructure, and the grid connection. Once we solve it and we remove those issues, then we believe that the world will move faster to EVs. And this is exactly what Arena of the Future in Italy would like to show. We would like to show how we can electrify different types of vehicles. We built in 16 hours, we built 1 kilometer of road. We connect the system to a DC grid connection, not just AC. We designed different types of asphalt layers to show how we can combine our coils to different road structure, let's say. And we show how we can electrify two different vehicle types. One was an e-bus, electric bus, and the second was Fiat 500, which is a passenger vehicle. And this project, we would like to show the easy of deployment, the connection to the grid, actually the data that we can collect from the vehicle while the vehicle is driving, how we control the whole system, if it's the infrastructure or the vehicle itself, and to show all types of vehicles, from small vehicles like the 500 Fiat up to heavy-duty truck driving on the same road, and to show shared platform. This is one of the huge advantage of wireless charging. So you can electrify all types of vehicles on the same platform.
Yeah, no, it's a great point, because that was actually going to be one of my questions for you about the different types of vehicles that you can use. And so obviously you've got a vehicle from Stellantis, and I believe Iveco was the bus maker for that. And
Exactly.
it kind of works into another question I got for you. You talked about the different road types that you were using, cement, asphalt, that sort of thing, blacktop. What about like weather conditions? Can weather conditions impact how the system works as well? Say if you got like a heavy layer of snow or something like that.
Actually, it's a brilliant question. I already been asked about how we manage weather condition. Try to imagine that you need to charge your vehicle when it's snowy outside, and you need to take the cable with you and to plug it on your vehicle. I think it's not safe. And I think that wireless charging, when all the equipment is under the ground, you don't need to touch it. It's fully automatic, so it's much safe system. Actually, what we are doing, we transmit electricity over the air, so we create electromagnetic field between two coils. Snow, ice, water, even mud will not prevent the energy to flow from one coil to the other coil, so there is no impact on weather condition on the system. So as I mentioned, no impact on weather condition on the system, and it's much safer. And in terms of visual impact, there is no poles, no cables outside, so you can deploy it on roads, you can deploy it on streets, you can deploy it inside your garage, terminal, depots, everywhere. So we can actually provide charging station all day long. So you don't need to wait to reach your house or your depot or garage in order to charge. You will be able to charge your vehicle everywhere. And in this case, actually, we can spread the energy across the whole day, because now you don't need to wait. Let's say when you come back to your house, you can charge your vehicle during the day.
No, that's a great point, because I mean, charging is such a concern for a lot of people, especially right now with the speeds that they're able to do it. And, if you don't have to stop and wait 20, 30 minutes to get, up to 80% charge, or whatever most people usually go to, yeah, you can just do it while you're driving down the road, which is phenomenal. And just to give our listeners here a little bit of an example of what this arena of the future is kind of like, it's a little over 1,000 meters long, which is which is about 0.6 miles. And I think I read that it uses about 1 megawatt of power to operate that section of road. So my question for you, Oren, would be, at what rate can you charge an EV through this type of inductive charging in the road?
So basically we have a receiver pad that we installed at the bottom of the vehicle. We can connect it directly to the battery, and we can provide up to 25 kilowatts directly to charge the battery. The system is modular. It means that we can connect multiple receivers on a given vehicle. For example, if we have a passenger vehicle like the Fiat 500, we have one receiver pad, so we can provide up to 25 kilowatts for this vehicle. But if we have a bus from Iveco, the Iveco bus, we have 3 receiver pads on this bus. So it means that we can provide up to 75 kilowatts to charge the battery. If we have heavy duty truck, we can install up to 7 pads. It means that we can reach up to more than 200 kilowatts charging for this heavy duty truck. In the future, we would like to increase it to 40 kilowatts. It means that we can charge those vehicles in very high power. You mentioned 1 megawatt for the arena of the future. It means that we can charge multiple receiver vehicles on the same time. So if we have a truck and a bus, or even the 500 Fiat driving on the road simultaneously, we can charge them all together.
I got to say, I'm quite impressed. Those are some pretty good charging rates that you guys are able to achieve. So kudos to you for that. That's pretty good.
Actually, I think that if you want to a better solution, you need to charge with lower amount of energy across the whole day. Fast charging will kill your battery, will put huge impact on the grid itself, and will create lots of peaks that the grid doesn't like it. So basically, you need to charge very slowly to keep the battery safe across the whole day. So this is actually what wireless charging can bring to the let's say to the planet.
So, that brings up a good point for me, because one of the things that I wondered was about applications. So you're obviously not going to want to be charging all day long on your battery, because like you said, it can impact it, especially if you're using fast charging. But so where do you see these applications? If someone's driving in the city where they're only kind of dinking and dunking along and not going very far, a technology like this might not be the best application for that scenario. Do you see it more so on highways where there's higher energy consumption with an EV, or where do you see these applications coming?
When you bring some new technology to the market, I think that it will be smart to start with niche segments, that you can bring value from day one. So we decided to start with public transportation. They drive longer distances, they can consume huge amount of energy, and they drive in fixed routes. What is almost also interesting that they are using terminals inside cities. So if you imagine a bus driving on the city, he uses a terminal, he goes to the round trip, he finishes round trip, he enters the terminal for 5 minutes, and then he goes to the next round trip. If we top up the battery inside the terminal and we electrify 10% of the route, we can provide the energy to the bus while this bus in operation. So actually we can reduce the size of the battery up to 90%, and we eliminate the need to charge the bus overnight. So we reduce the battery. It means that the bus will be lighter, more efficient. The cost of the vehicle will be much less because we remove a huge portion of the battery, and you can operate this bus 24/7. So it's a huge impact on this segment. And as I mentioned, we can show benefit from day one. So take this example to taxis that are traveling across the city 24/7. If you electrify those queues and relief stands for taxis, you can do the same as we are doing with buses. Take the same example for last mile delivery trucks. So you understand that we are focusing on fleets, which is much easier to show benefit from day one.
Yeah, and so some of those cost benefits that you talk about, is that how you plan to pay for some of this stuff? Is the cost benefits to cities and automakers and all that, is that how these roads will get built? Because I've got to imagine there's at least an amount of extra costs involved with installing extra stuff underneath the road and on the vehicle itself.
Actually, you're right. But I think that we need to add to this story not just reducing the battery, but if you have a fleet of vehicles, you need to equip your depot with charging stations. That actually another investment that you need to put on this on those charging stations that will cost you, let's say, will cost you, and you need to give to bring grid connection in order to feed your vehicles. So if we eliminate the need to have those charging stations, I believe that we can reach a point where our system is much cheaper. So we don't need to compensate ourselves with charging the client extra. This is a premium product, but it's much cheaper than the existing product. So this is interesting. We would like to bring value to the customer, not just to take a fee on services. So the product is much cheaper, much cost effective, and we will charge for the use of the system. In addition, we have a billing system inside the vehicle, so this is a future benefit for the clients.
Oh, very interesting. So kind of like charging up at any sort of charging station now, right? When you plug in, you can get charged right away. This would kind of do, you're thinking about the same sort of thing with this.
Yeah, if you plug your vehicle to a charging station, the billing is at the side of the road at the charging station unit. But if you drive with your vehicle and receive energy while driving, you need a billing system inside your vehicle. So let's say it's like a Blockbuster and Netflix. If you remember Blockbuster,
Oh, very much so.
billing
Yes.
system was inside a machine. Now with the Netflix, the billing system is inside your device, which is mobile. This is exactly what we are doing, eliminating Blockbuster and having a Netflix. So if you will drive on our vehicle, you will have the ability to charge your vehicle anytime that you want, while driving, while parking, whatever, and the billing system will be with you inside your vehicle.
It's a great comparison. It makes it very easy to understand what you're saying. So the
Yeah.
big question I've got to imagine that everybody out there is yelling at their computer screen right now is, when are we going to see it? When is it going to
You
be
can see
out
it.
in the road and be able to experience it?
Come to the arena of the future and you will see, it was so impressive to see how we pave it in 16 hours. When we established the company, we had a goal to pave 1 kilometer within 1 day. And actually, it was a joke. We are office workers. We don't even know what it takes to open the road, to put asphalt, and to mention that we are going to do it in 1 day, it was a joke. But today we showed it, actually. We showed it a couple of times in Tel Aviv, in Sweden, and now in Italy, how we can pave 1 kilometer in 1 day, and I believe that we are going to improve it. We have now a goal to pave a whole city in a few weeks, and we are going to achieve it. And I think that what is also impressive is in few days we electrified a bus and a Fiat 500, and we demonstrate those vehicles on the road. So if you understand that we can do it in few days, so first you are welcome to come to the Arena of the Future in Italy. You can actually choose to come to Israel to see our system in Tel Aviv, or to come to Italy to the Arena of the Future, or to come to Germany to see our bus driving at Karlsruhe or Sweden. We have 1 mile of electric road system. We have a bus and a truck driving. It's like a highway in a beautiful city, island of Gotland in Sweden. So you are more than welcome to visit one of our sites.
Well, be careful because I might just have to take you up on that because I do find this very interesting. It's one of those technologies that's caught my eye, right from the beginning, and I've always wanted to kind of follow along with it because it just makes so much sense to have your vehicle charging while you're driving down the road. It would be so easy for everybody. So yeah, it's something that I find very interesting.
When you think about the future and you think about solution at scale, you understand that batteries alone will not hold. And if we have 1.4 billion vehicles, that if you imagine about electrifying them, let's say in 20 years from now, 30 years from now, we need to provide 1.4 billion batteries. Do we have enough resources on the planet to support this huge shift? I believe that the answer is no. And I think that if you think about the next phase is to have charging stations along the streets in order to feed those vehicles, I think that we can end up with a total chaos. So I think that we need to think about shared platform, which is wireless charging. Um, and we believe that this is the way to move forward and to accelerate the adoption of EVs. So it's not just a nice technology, it's a must in order to push this industry forward.
Well, definitely. I agree with you. And we'll be watching this space very carefully to see what keeps going on here. And if we need to, we'll touch base in the future too and see what's going on.
If not, we are going to bring it to the US.
Good, good.
So we will come to you. So I believe that we would start a demo in Utah University very soon, early 2022, and maybe in other places in US. So wait and wait for nice news from our company.
We will do that. Oren Ezer from Electreon, thank you for joining us today. Really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.